Hey everyone, today I'm going to be running through how to use the Eat This Much program. Now, I've gone through quite a few different nutrition programming systems before, but this is the one that I've found to be the most accurate and the most helpful. Because what you can actually do with this, you can type in how many calories you want, how much protein, how much carbs, fat, and fiber, and even stuff like sodium and all those other types of things as well, your macro and micronutrients. And then from there, it'll give you a random meal plan and you can pick and choose between all the items of food and put your own in, so you can actually create something that you enjoy eating rather than just eating chicken and broccoli all the time. Now, from here, when you first open up the screen, it'll show you something like this. So that's after you've created your own profile. Now, I wouldn't be too worried about all this type of stuff. I'll fill in a random one for now. But what I normally recommend for all my clients is to weigh yourself at the start of the week, weigh yourself and take your waist measurements at the start of the week in the morning before you have anything to eat. Track your food for the whole week, whether you want to do it on MyFitnessPal or a different app, or even if you just want to write it down in a diary. But we do want to find out exactly how many calories you're consuming throughout that week. And that way, when you weigh and take your waist measurement at the end of the week again, you'd find out whether you're gaining, maintaining, or losing weight on that particular amount that you were consuming. And then from there, let's say you had 1,500 calories a day throughout that on an average throughout that week. Now, if you've gained weight during that week and you're trying to lose weight, then obviously that's a little bit higher than your maintenance calories, so you'll have to reduce that a little bit and run off that number. Now, if you've maintained weight, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. And if you've lost weight, then you're already on the way to your goal, so that's awesome. Now, we'll just quickly fill this out just so we've got something and we can move on to the next step. So we've got metric because we're in Australia, male, height, 177. Got to get every extra centimeter when you're under 6 foot. 80 kilos. Age is 23. Now, I'd say I'm probably just below 14%, but I haven't checked in a while, so I'm not entirely sure about that. So that's another thing with this is it's not very accurate because it only takes into account a few things. And most of the time you don't know exactly what your body fat is unless you've gone and done like a DEXA scan or if you've had somebody professional do your body fat calipers. Now from here on, now I am quite active when I'm exercising, but at the same time I sit down quite a bit for work behind a computer. So I just put moderately active. Weight goal, I'm just going to put an example one for now. So let's say I want to get to 85 kilos, want just 300 grams in each week. Now, the reason for that, there's actually a proper reason behind it. The body is made up, so we all know the body's got muscle in it, and that muscle is then made up of protein, and that protein gets broken down into amino acids. Now, the maximum amount of amino acids that can be deposited on your body when you first start training within a week is about 300 to 500 grams. Now, because I've been training for quite a while, mine is more towards the lower end there. So that means I can only deposit about 300 grams of amino acids into my body, which then gets turned into protein, which then gets put into the muscle. So I would just go, that's just a general one there. I'd just go about 300 grams. Now, if you don't mind putting on a little bit of body fat as well, then you can go a little bit higher than that. But for now, we'll just stick with the 300. We'll just leave it at the 20th of May for now, just to see what they come up with. From there, it's going to load up, and you can choose your primary diet type. So there's a few different options there: paleo, vegetarian, vegan, Atkins, or Mediterranean. I'm just going to go anything because I like to eat whatever I want. Recommended macro changes, I wouldn't worry about anything with that. And you can always change your substitutions as well. So it just gives you an example of everything on there. I'm not too concerned about any of that type of stuff. Daily price limit, if you're on a bit of a budget, you can change that. But for now, I'm just going to leave it without the limit so we can see what it comes up with. Now, if you don't like a certain type of food, then you can just write them in for now. So I'm not a big fan of seafood. I don't mind fish, but anything else I don't really like. And you can put in your allergies as well, so they don't put that in. Add that into the nutrition plan, and then again it just separates things a little bit more. So you can go down and click on any of these ones that you don't like. So I've never tried tofu before. I'm not really too keen to start. So you can click on that one, and that just means it's not going to be in your program at all. And then just things like veggies, your fats and nuts, and your dairy and fruits. So I'm quite happy to keep all of them in there. And you click on next step. Let's just name that as Jaden's Nutrition. Oops, can't spell. And then description, let's just put it as muscle gain. Now, so that's just used the calculations from that first thing I put with gaining weight and how long I wanted to do it in, and running off my body fat percentage and how active I am. Now, I'd say that's probably a little bit too high for me at the moment. My maintenance calories is about 2,500 a week, or 2,500 a day, sorry. So 3,100 would be a little bit too high for me because I'll gain weight a little bit too fast from that. So what I'll probably put that down to is about 2,800 just for now. Now you can choose whether you want your macros, so you choose whether you want exact ones that gives you ranges there, or you can just go over a percentage basis. Now for today, we'll keep it nice and simple and go off percentage. For now, I think considering on 2,800 to 30% protein is probably a little bit too high. Now with your fats and carbs, sorry, I would recommend basing it off of what you actually enjoy eating. So say if you enjoy eating stuff like your more starchy foods like your breads, your beans, potatoes, ice cream, sweets. If you enjoy more things like that, then I'd put the carbs a little bit higher. But if you enjoy going out for takeaway with things like Domino's, KFC, anything that's got a lot of oil and grease and stuff like that in there, then I'd put your fat a little bit higher. Now, I do like fat a little bit more, so I'd probably go just a little bit higher and put my carbs down a little bit to compensate. Actually, I've got that extra 5% from there before, so I might put them both. I'll put that up by 2 and put my fat up by 3. And that doesn't work out because my maths is bad. What do we got there? 45 plus 35 is... That still doesn't work out correct. Ignore my math skills. We're just going to put this fat back down again. Okay, let's go off that because that's finally accurate. So we're just going to ignore that I don't know how to do maths. And then we're going to move on to this down here. So you can choose your sodium. Again, I wouldn't be too worried about this one unless you do have past history with sodium-related diseases, like your heart disease, blocked arteries, with your cholesterol down there as well. Or even if you have a hereditary, that's where I'd be a bit more concerned about this. But if you're a healthy person that doesn't really have any problems with this, then don't be too concerned about it. Fiber, I'd go between about 20 to 30 grams. Now, because my calories are a little bit higher, I'd shoot for the higher number. If your calories are a little bit lower, then I'd go for the lower number. But more fiber. Fiber's related with longevity, so the more fiber you can get, the better. Within reason, you don't want to go overboard and start getting bloated and feel bad. All right, so finish sign up. Now, again, if you do want some more help with your macros, then shoot me through a message. I'll be able to help out with that a little bit more because that can be a bit more technical. Now, here it just gives you options if you want to upgrade. I do have an upgraded account. This is a new account, but I do have a separate account where I do have the upgraded version. So if you want more help with that, then let me know. So just skip all that stuff, scroll right down to the bottom, stick with the free version for now, and go back to the meal planner. Then from here, once this all loads up, it's just going to show up with that. We'll ignore that. And it will show you can click how many meals you want a day. So let's say we want 5 meals a day. Now that can just be based on your lifestyle. It doesn't really matter. I'd never be worried about this. As long as you got more than 2 a day, you're doing all right. Yeah, I'd base on at least 3 a day. Because the whole meal timing increasing your metabolic rate isn't accurate at all. All right, so we got 5 there. Click on regenerate. And then from there, it'll take a while to load, but it will show you all these different options of food that you can have in your meal plan. So it does take a while to load because it is searching to try and suit your macronutrient intake. So it should be about to load up. There we go. Okay, so it'll show you a random meal plan at the start there. So based on what you've typed in so far. Now, if you don't like a certain food, so let's say we don't like the American tuna, then you just click on the regenerate this food button there. And then from there, it'll just give you different options. So you can keep changing that until you find something that you enjoy. Now, it can take a while to find something, but I'll show you how to get around that in a second. So for now, I just want to try to find something that I would actually enjoy eating. Curry chicken salad sounds pretty nice. Okay, Now, if you don't like a whole meal, now this whole thing sounds pretty awful. The chicken spinach wrap probably isn't that bad, but we'll just for now, you can click on this one at the top here, and it'll regenerate that whole meal then. Once it finds something different, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, but that sounds fancy as hell. And then from there, you have all these different options. So let's say we're happy with that one, but we want to have a few different options down the track so we don't get bored with it. So just click on more here, and you can go list alternative meals. And then from there, it'll load up all different ones based on what you have there currently with your calorie target. Although fries in the morning sounds pretty bloody awesome. So we scroll down and it shows you all these different options here. So there's heaps of different options so you never get bored. Let's get out of that one. Actually, I'll quickly show you how to do that if you do actually want to change it. And you actually, once you got the upgraded one, you can tell them what's in the pantry, and it actually gives you options based on what you have in your cupboard at the moment. Now, because this is an American program, it can be a bit hit and miss because we don't have the same ingredients over in Australia or the same brand names. But usually you can get pretty similar. So let's just find something that's pretty good here. Let's just go with this one for now. So just go replace with this meal, and you'll see in the background here it's just changed that straight away. So you can fiddle around with it a little bit, find what you enjoy, change it up each day so you don't get bored of it. And if you're having trouble finding something you actually do enjoy eating by clicking on the refresh button all the time, and then you can actually just click on search foods, and you got your recipe. So let's say we want something with chicken in it, because that's a pretty broad range thing that most people have in their food. Just let it load, and it shows up all these different options down here. So you just find something that you like. Feather chicken sounds pretty awesome. Now this can happen sometimes where it doesn't want to respond. So all you do is click on generic food, and then you just have to refresh it, find it, keep going until it works. So now there we go, it's finally trying to work. So just go back to recipes, find that one again, and bring it back over. So there we go, now it's working now. So you put it in feather chicken. So you got feather chicken breakfast there, and then you just want to get it back to that 2,800 calorie mark so you can get rid of something else. So let's say we don't want the poached eggs anymore. Just remove this food, and it doesn't have to be from breakfast either. You can take it from somewhere else as well. But I'm a little bit under the 2,800 there, so I'd have to, let's say we want to refresh that whole meal again, and then that's just going to get you closer to that 2,800 again or further away, like that one did. So it requires a bit of trial and error with this, finding what you're actually going to enjoy and that actually suits your meals quickly, or suits your meals more accurately. Sorry, even gives you a breakdown of how much it's probably going to cost there to get your ingredients, and I believe that's probably a daily amount, but don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. Now you can click on detailed nutrition, and already we've got a massive amount of fiber there, so that's probably too much. So you can maybe drop out a little bit of fruit or some of your veggies as well. Probably that cow juice probably got a lot of fiber in there, and so would your cottage. Oh no, it's just cottage cheese. I thought that was oats. Yeah, so you can drop that down because anything over 50 is probably a little bit excessive with your fiber. Then you got things like sodium, potassium, sugar. I know everyone gets crazy about sugar, but personally, I wouldn't be too worried about it as long as you still get your amount of fiber in that you need. Fats breaks down into saturated fat. Again, I wouldn't be too worried about that unless you do have family history or personal history with heart disease and other associated diseases with saturated fat. Fatty acids, vitamins and minerals, even shows how much caffeine's in there, which is 0 at the moment, and all your amino acids, which I was talking about before there. So all these amino acids combine together to make your proteins, basically. That's a simplistic version of it anyway. Now, as well as that, so you got I showed you before there, you can remove the food, switch the food, or you can even make it recurring as well. So I say you really like a food, you want it on breakfast there, you can click always or often. So we go always, you just want the one serving, add to meal. And once that loads, so it's always going to be in breakfast, recurring foods breakfast. Close that. And if that works properly, I should be able to refresh this and feta chicken will still be in there. once it loads. Still loading. There we go. So feta chicken's still in there again, and I got my chips back, so I'm very happy, man. So it takes a bit of fiddling around, but once you get the hang of it, it's quite simple. And that's pretty much the full run of how to use that. Now, if you do have the premium one, you can go through each day and change your meals based on each day, but I wouldn't worry about that too much because you can actually just change it in here and find your alternatives. If you have any problems with it, or if you want to learn a little bit more about the little intricacies of it, then shoot me through a message. I'll be able to help out with that. But for now, that's your full program, and that's how you do it. And if you want to print it out, you do need premium. But what I can do for my clients anyway is if you send me a screenshot of what you do have in what shows up for your meal plan, I can put it on my premium account, load it up on there, and print it out for you or email it to you. And that way you don't have to worry about going back to hear it all the time. But the good thing about this is you do have the app as well. And hopefully I'll be able to send you through a video of how to use the app, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So it'll show up the same program on your app anyway once you load it up on there. So you can just, if you don't know if you don't want to keep going back to your computer all the time, then you can just load it up on there and look at it that way. And it'll also show you how to make your meals as well if you click on these and you go more info. So it shows you prep time, cook time, how many serves you get out of it, the ingredients that you need and how much each ingredient you need, and your directions as well. So it keeps it nice and simple there. And again, you can break down the nutrition info for just that particular meal and exactly what's in there. So it's quite helpful and it shows you a lot of information. I think this is going to help all of you a lot. And let me know how you go with it. Let me know if you have any troubles or if you want to learn more about it. But apart from that, we are all done. Enjoy.